This is the Wise Guy Radio Show, a podcast dedicated to educating and inspiring through conversations with today's top talents in the world of glass. We will be dissecting their journeys in hopes to deliver actionable content that you, the artist, can start implementing now, helping you grow not only as a creative spirit, but also a successful artistic entrepreneur. With a little organization, relationship building, and your artistic ability, you can obtain greatness. Climb aboard, whether an artist, retail owner, or enthusiast. We have a ton of fun in store for you. Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show. This episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by Green Flash Glass. The Green Flash Glass logo is a symbol of quality because they take pride in their craftsmanship and stand behind their products. With over 15 years of experience and an amazing team of artists, Green Flash Glass backs up their work with 100% quality guarantee, friendly responsive customer service, and high-quality products at an affordable price. For more info, go to greenflashglass.com. That's greenflashglass.com. This episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show is sponsored by Mountain Glass Arts. Since 2002, Mountain Glass has continued to bring you great customer service with a knowledgeable and friendly staff. As one of the nation's premier borosilicate glass supply companies, they strive to cover all your glass needs. For more information on their history, as well as the up-to-date sales, check out their site, www.mountainglass.com. Hey, what's up, everybody? I am sitting here with my dude, Mongo. How are you today, my dude?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm fucking awesome, man. He's here today. We're going to probably go all over the fucking place. I'm already starting to say fuck. I'm going to probably say it about 1,000 times now that I've said it in my intro. So,
Welcome to Wise Guy Radio.
Yeah, holy Jesus. So, we've been laughing and having a whole shit ton of fun before we even got this record button started. So, so we're going to back up a little bit and get into his beginnings, which started in '96, and kind of go from there and take you guys on this crazy adventure. I'm sure this is going to be one hell of an episode. So, yeah, man. You want to get us started and give us kind of some background where you got started,
man.
You know? And
I guess it all comes from like I was using graphics class back in the day, you know. And one time I like broke the goddamn bowl piece literally in my hand between my thumb and my index finger cleaning it. I was like, this is bullshit. So I am sick of breaking this cheap glass, and I finally found someone I was like that could teach me. He was fresh out of Eugene. I was like, all right, cool. This guy teaches me. I pay him, go on our separate ways. And I moved to Amsterdam because Jerry Garcia had just died. And I really felt that there was nothing left in America at the time. So I moved to Amsterdam, which I had visited many times in the past. You got to go there for a New Year's at least once. That place is a blast.
Hell yeah.
And then that's where I kind of just sat there and made some mushroom marble keychains for the tourists for a few months, like 3, 4, 5 months I was there, and came back to the U.S. and pretty much started to hone my craft here.
Nice. So you took that foundation, and then what were you working on over in Amsterdam, like torch-wise?
Anything I could. Surprisingly, in my first month, I was really making these killer bubblers, and I mean, that's all I had to do. It was so cold though, and I had this little kiln, and I bought like most everything over there, and just had a little national torch I brought with me.
Nice. Yeah, I'm sure it was probably a little pricey though for gas and stuff over there.
Everything took like a day to do. I mean, to go get oxygen, it was like I had to go rent a car, go take this tank, and where I was blowing glass, it was not legal to do. It was like in some antique district, you know. It was like called Rembrandt's Place. It was a really popular party district. There was actually a gay bar below my place. My landlord ran that, and it didn't start till 2 a.m. and my bed was like right above their speakers.
Jesus.
But you know, I was in Amsterdam, and my Dutch roommate was like, how did you even get here, man? Like there's a 5-year, at the time, now it's 10-year. There's a 5-year waiting list to get a place to rent a room in Amsterdam. There's a waiting list.
Wow.
So yeah, we were just, you know, we were hippies, man. We could do anything. Just tried anything. I called one place. It was like, you got rooms for rent? And he's like, rooms? No, I have rims. So it was a little learning of the language there for a little bit. But
interesting. Hell yeah. So where'd you come back to when you came back from there?
Well, my parents lived in Maryland. I was originally from the West Coast.
Okay.
Navy family, moved around. So my parents were in Maryland. And that's where I kind of just spent a few years working it up. And then actually like about a year. And then I bought a house, you know, down there. And we still own it. And it's actually doing really well. But I lived there for a while, was in a relationship with the crazy chick and broke up. And then I moved to Philly, lived in Philly for about a year because I'd always gone up there for quite some time and had some really good friends in Philly at the time. And still have a good friend up there, the Dubsmith. His music is awesome. You should check him out. And then I just pretty much moved back and I was like, fuck this. I'm going back to California. It's where I always wanted to be.
Oh,
The
yeah.
weather's nice. I was cracking a lot of glass. See, I work these 50 by 9 thick wall tubings that I've kind of done since for about 16, 17 years. Work the thickest glass I could find, fully by hand, no lathe, just rollers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just spinning this stuff out, and I was cracking a lot of glass. It was just so cold that
Yeah, thermal shock. Yeah,
the
sucks.
thermal shock just would kill me. Here, it's heaven. I just change my hours in accordance with what works with me the best. In the summer, it gets hot. It was hot, like you said.
Yeah.
It's almost 90 to 100 every day here for like 2 to 3 months up till almost Thanksgiving. It was like 90. So
Yeah, same here.
such whiny little Californians, though, man. We are just.
Yeah, that's how Florida is. I know as soon as it gets cold, we're like bitching that it's cold, and then it gets hot. We're like, oh, this is hot. It sucks.
I mean, it does get to like in the 30s at night. Don't get me wrong. I mean, in the deep winter, it'll get that. I was in the low 40s last night. So, but it's going to be 80 today. So,
Yeah.
in the high 70s.
Hell yeah. So did you take any other classes and stuff when you came back to the States?
Yeah. Then I wanted to. I was like, okay, I got to go meet Bob and see what's going down in Eugene. It's just crazy. Everything came from there. I was like, I gotta know. So I rolled on up there, and I met Jason Harris, the owner of Jerome Baker, while I was in Amsterdam at the '96 Cannabis Cup. And so he had a big bag of Snodgrass skull marbles, and I was like, Jason, I was like, hey man, what's up? And we started talking, and he thought my dog was my baby. We used to take our poodle everywhere. Like he went with us everywhere, and it was kind of funny. But so we met him there, and then I went up to Eugene, and I met him there, and I hung around his palace there up there when it was Jerome Baker for like a few days until his employees bitched and made me leave. But then Jason would work from like 8 a.m. to like 5 p.m, and he would be sitting there on the torch. I've never seen somebody so dedicated. I was so inspired by this. I was like, oh my God, these are the real Jedis, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And they had this huge factory, and I was like, wow. And then he introduced me to Bob. He gave me the numbers to Snodgrass. But I want to say he would work till 5, and then he would get off of work and he would go over to his hot shop in like one of those storage centers with electricity, and he would fucking blow soft glass till friggin' 1 a.m. and then you get up and do it all again.
Crazy.
This movement in Eugene back then was amazing, and it was magical because they were inventing shit. They were poking, poking mushroom marbles just blew the scientific community away. Snodgrass told me when I finally met him. So then I met Bob, and I convinced Bob to start doing classes instead of just straight up year-long apprenticeships, because I didn't really live there. I couldn't really get up and move at the time. I just bought a house, and so he was like, all right. And so he did it. And then I came back, and I guess the other 2 people in my class just didn't come through. And so I had a solo 3-day shift with him. And of course I showed up a few days early and was there anyway. So it was pretty awesome. I soaked it up and made a nice little manual that I have of Bob's. And I have some, they wanted me to make a book of it. I guess I really need to get them those notes. Anyway, so that was like 15 years ago. I'm so sorry, Bob. Anyways, Bob is the man. I think every glass artist at least needs to buy a piece from Bob. You all need to own a Bob piece. Just, I mean, this guy gave his life. He's given his entire life so that we all can find a love and a passion and something that we can control in this crazy, chaotic world.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, actually, one of my goals for next year is to get him on the show for sure.
Oh man, he's awesome. So awesome. He's another Aquarian. I'm an Aquarius. Jason's birthday's right after mine. He's an Aquarius. Hippies, man. We're hippies.
Hey, it's okay, man. I'm a
little more
Sagittarius,
punk
so
rock,
it's all good.
Oh yeah, we love you guys.
Yeah, on my birthday.
So then I got lessons from Bob, and then I put that into some use for a few years, and I moved back out and I moved to California, and then I went to San Marcos school here. Went to Palomar in San Marcos. Palomar College, and they have an exceptional glass program there. One of the few in the state at a public school, community college. It
Neat.
really was. I already had my degree, but I just wanted to blow glass. So my buddies were all doing it. I guess who was in one of my early classes? What's his name? Who does the goblins?
Oh, Shelbo?
Yeah, I'm so old, dude. Shelbo was there. You know what? Hey, I'll talk to anybody. I guess I somehow missed him. So Vela G ended up being in one of the classes. He was fun to hang out with.
Yeah, he does some awesome work.
We always hung out as a crew and partied it up. My buddy worked for Stone. He was always getting us beer. It was kind of a fun, magical time there for like a few 2-3 years I went there. I'd bring my guitar to there, and we would just hang for out, because really you weren't going to learn anything unless you just sat there for.
Yeah.
And it took some time away, but I would go home and then do Boro for like 10 hours. So you really minimal 20 hours a week on that, because you got to just watch and learn and help and assist and just even open a door for a while.
Yeah. That's what I did in the hot shop too, man. Opening doors. I used to come home with heat rash if I didn't wear my Kevlar sleeves that day.
I invented a Kevlar apron in the 90s for my 9 mils. I was doing these 9 mils so thick that the radiant heat was really just heating up my chest. So now when I do them, I wear a face shield and I use this Kevlar apron that, I made in the 90s. So I don't know. I'm sure there's probably a million of them by now. And we stitched some of that pizza insulation stuff inside of another level of Kevlar. So it's like three levels of Kevlar and thin Kevlar and the pizza insulation stuff. So it really works great. Keeps all the heat off you. It's like night and day. It'd be good just without the pizza, but it really made me think that the radiant heat, my shirt was hot. I was like, wow, that's going to heat up my blood, heat up my heart. If I had boobs, like if I was a female and had appendages that came out, that would also get hotter too, which could create kind of maybe some sort of tissue damage down the road, long-term heat exposure. But not saying everybody's getting that kind of heat. I am getting excessive radiant heat from 50x9 glass. Let's be honest here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's part of like what I preach on the show, because it's like you don't realize that we're like rotisserie chickens when they're working just like slowly, even over years of doing it, And I know back years when I first started, I was using 50 by like 1.7 for inside outs, and having to use like a 6 or 8 inch section of that shit and doing double flares, like fully worked inside outs. But man, like I would ask myself, like, am I cooking my heart right now? Like it feels like I'm just heating the shit out of myself.
I got to get you one of these aprons, especially if you got a GTT. I just picked one of those up. I'm like, oh my God, thank God.
Yeah, I'm working on one now. I've been running a Carlisle for 16 years.
Same here.
Yeah.
I ran a Carlisle CC plus. I think the bigger, wider one that went down, huge, almost like the Paramount. Yeah, but it just wasn't like this GT. God, I got a Samurai.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking at Kabuki or Samurai myself.
Ninja. No, actually, I got a Ninja. Sorry, I just read the paperwork this morning.
Yeah, I don't want to go too crazy big, but yeah, man, GTTs are awesome. Definitely. I don't endorse, or I'm not endorsed by any of them or whatever, but
I love it. I'm not endorsed by anybody. I'm just too low pro. I'll speak my mind to businesses like Tag. I love them and I love what they do, but like, don't get me started about the pink slime. I call it punk slime. The off COE I've had so much success with, and I've had some bad issues with it too. And I tell them like it is, and they don't want to hear it. I had issues with them and I love them to death, but it was like the last thing I said, I was like, you know what? I won't even bring it up anymore if I have cracked issues with my glass, because I'm trying to scientifically figure this out. Honestly, I want to know what the deal is.
Right.
And every time they come back at me, it was like my fault or something I was doing wrong. Identify a problem with the thing. And finally they told me that it's no longer available for the distributors, only for like the production shops are they selling it to, the pink slime. And I've had a problem recently with the dense slime number 3, but the regular slime that I get from them has been really good as of late. The last batch I got.
Huh? Yeah, that's all I use is the original or close to the original Formula slime.
That would be and plus my applications again are thicker, and there is a lot of right to what they're saying sometimes, like, and I push the limitations of the color, and that's why they were talking to me, and I do all kinds of stress to it as I'm making it, and then I'll unstress it, but. They just wanted I guess their advice was to heat it up fully flash it before you put it in the kiln, get everything to temp, and then bring it down in the kiln. So a lot of times that's not possible for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If I haven't.
Oh, go on. I'm sorry.
No, if I haven't hit that area in a while with a flame or something, I'm just like, I'm out of the kiln and right back in on a move. It's not like soft glass. Should be like soft glass where I'm flashing a lot, but.
Yeah, it's funny. It's interesting to bring that up. Kind of a side topic here, but I find like myself and other artists I've talked to that have been doing this as long as we have. When we started, we only had like 7 or 8 colors that you could really beat the shit out of and not worry about it because the technology we had. That's all you could do. The torches beat the shit, whether it was a National or whatever, or Carlisle's even.
Short of like Jade. Jade was the only real problem back then.
Yeah, and that color sucked, so I never used it. But then it got into like the amber purple was there, but then they got into the amber purple families, which you could still beat those up. But then once the cadmium colors came out, it was like, holy shit, we got to like learn, they got to like relearn how to play with color. And I know myself personally, like. Even using some colors that I know shouldn't go through more than like 1 or 2 cycles in the kiln, I still will run it in there 2 or 3 times more than it should. Not have any issues, but every once in a while, it makes me wake the fuck up and have an issue and something breaks, then it's an expensive issue from what I'm breaking.
Yeah, and that Carlisle wasn't helping us with those colors either.
No, exactly, yeah. But the new generation...
I worked them. You know what, though? Fairness to the Carlisle, there seemed to be a takeover at Glass Alchemy, a switch of ownership, a switch of management a few years back, maybe like 5-10 years, maybe it's longer than I thought. But when they switched up, there was this, and then all of a sudden the acid yellow all of a sudden it started bubbling up on me, and I was having more issues than I was before, noticeably.
Yeah, I agree.
I took some time off, and it seems to have gotten better.
Has it?
The last batch I got was a while ago, but I don't have any problems with it anymore, but now that I got the GTT running, I'm really like, I don't have hardly any issues anymore.
Yeah, it's great for color, and it seems like the new generation of glass artists, the younger guys that are in the maybe 5 to 10 years, maybe less than 10, maybe 8 years, that started off even with a GTT or even a Red Max. That's even a little softer too, but that same kind of generation has access to all these colors, so they're starting with it from the very beginning, not having to learn it all at once instead of having to learn in these. Transitions and evolutions as we all evolve through this industry and the color changes and everything else. So it's kind of interesting.
Or even having to invent it.
Yeah.
Like it's already there.
Yeah.
Like Scott Depp already invented it.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
Snodgrass already invented it. Yeah. You're talking about, I think Cameron made the first bubbler. That gets to that whole other topic. It's like, well, who's copying who? Like this whole copying thing, it blows my mind. Like, well, somebody does something that you're not allowed to make it until 3 people do it. Really? Okay. Like the arrowheads I was making recently, right. Like if you Google glass or if you do the hashtag glass arrowheads, you'll see looks like over 20 people making them.
Oh yeah, for sure. So absolutely.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Plus, I got
it's a funny
Native
topic.
American.
Yeah. Are we going to go there?
No. Okay. So the whole deal, so it seemed like the color, I don't know. So I don't want to give too much bad press to the Carlisle, but it's nice that we have these nice torches available to us now, and they have to change, and everybody does get all that, like all the stuff that we have done. And sure, that's going to give you a better base of which to start. Like nobody was doing montages or there was no really anything. There wasn't anything when we started. Like there was fuming and dotting. Like you can see some of that still evident in the way Bob Batram does his work now, and Cameron still does. It's a lot. You can almost trace a lot of our. For a while, you could look at somebody's art and just trace it. Oh, you had to learn from them. Oh, you learned from. Okay, you learn. And it's not so much anymore. It seems like you can almost learn on YouTube, although it's nothing could ever replace being with somebody, for 12 hours a day, just picking their brain and drawing, having that kind of instruction. And
yeah, it's amazing the difference between being self-taught and not being self-taught. Like, I mean, it's taken me 17 years to get to where I'm at, where some guys, it might take them 2 because they have someone that's already gone through the 17 years, to cut
for
the
sure.
It's pretty cool.
I took a Scott Depp class in 2011 after the Palomar. Then I went on to the Scott Depp class, and Adam G was there. And I don't do electronics. I knew who Scott was. That's why I was there. I didn't know who Adam was. And, I was behind the times. This is 2011. Yeah. I mean, I'm just a hippie that lives in a cave. Like, really, I'm raising kids now and I'm just caving out, man. And I did production for like the last 14 years up until a couple years ago. I started to do rigs, and that kind of ruined me for a little while. I was just kind of just bummed. Yeah, and glad to be where I'm at and finally having some success with sales and people on the internet now. I never even tried it. What the fuck is the internet?
Yeah, we'll get into that for sure in a bit. Yeah, man, because it's definitely a topic I want to bring up.
Yeah, so I learned a lot from Scott, and I filmed a little tiny amount of him out of a couple of days. Just I got minutes, but still. He agreed and said that I could just film a tiny bit, but I've never even shown one person that. I've never, not even any of my apprentices, because that was the agreement, I think he said I could show somebody, but I just never wanted to show anybody. That sits on a hard drive that doesn't get plugged in. It doesn't sit anywhere. Yes, there's a copy of it on another hard drive that doesn't get plugged in. So I value these things because what I learned there was just unreal, and I haven't even had time to like do it all yet. I'm slowly putting in a couple of things here and there, but I have the video to help work through that, unfortunately. So I got a Snodgrass book I need to get going on for him, and it's got that video. No, I have really only minutes. It's not that much stuff there.
Yeah, hey, personal knowledge is a good thing.
Yeah, he's a master though. He's a guy that started after me, man. And I'm just like, I look at Scott, and there was a UFO piece I saw that just blew my mind.
Yeah,
and I talked
dude.
to him about it. That one, the orange. And blue. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, I remember.
Insane.
I'll never forget, man. I was in our studio. I had like 4 cats working with me. I had a little production thing going, and the guy I was in business with came blowing downstairs. He's like, I just got off the phone with David Fleischman. He said, go to this website and check this out. And it was when GlassPipes.org first started, and it was like Jason Lee and Marcel, and then who the fuck is this Scott Deppie guy? Holy shit! Are you like he was doing like these rainbow chains and this crazy like just completely like shit nobody even could come up with in their brains. Like Marcel and Jason Lee were doing their thing. The whole Northwest was just going crazy. But then all of a sudden Scott Deppie comes out of the blue. It was like for me like the newer generations, like when Buck came out, and Buck was like this whole new concept in glassworking for functional work, but different generations. Scott Deppie was like the first generation of this complete genius concept. Like Ham's in the same kind of area. Like you can pick a couple cats out in our industry that like completely just stand alone. Nobody's doing their shit. It's just those guys. I mean, even though Deppie's got Mothership, but it's still another. Scott Deppie's work is Scott Deppie's work. I mean, you could. It's it's interesting.
I bow to that guy. He is just. And it's hard for me sometimes to take in younger, look at him like, but I spent so many years doing production that I just don't feel like I'm inadequate because I have like plenty of skill. And if you look at my page, I'm doing stuff that everybody else is doing just as good, if not better than half the people. I did go to that Honey Drop Glass Gallery for the Hobbs show, and they have some amazing work and, some stuff I haven't even tried, but it's like, doesn't seem impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the stuff Scott does, I'm just like, fuck, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
There wasn't anything really in the Honey Drop Glass Gallery that I couldn't do. I was very impressed with the Hunter S. Thompson piece, man. Oh my God, that thing was just mind blowing.
Yeah.
And I finally got out and I met Preston Hanna that night. I really didn't know I was even talking to him at first. And I was like, oh shit, okay. Yeah, so
hell yeah.
He's cool. It's nice to meet some cool people. I've had some negative interactions in the industry, but it's nice to meet cool people. And when I took that Deb class, he was just Snodgrass, man. He's just a man. He is just so old school hippie, just master glass artist, great teacher, good friend, phenomenal dude. His birthday's, I think, February 12th or 13th, February 12th. And he's just an awesome guy. But then I meet Scott and Adam, and I'm all like, wow, fucking Adam G, just hilarious guy, just trapped in the 80s. Love him. He's fucking rad. And then learned a lot from both of those guys. Really learned so much.
Yeah, taking classes, especially when you have a foundation like we have. Like I've just recently this year taken 2 classes really for the first time. I've learned from other people some techniques and stuff, but like actual like class-wise, in 16 years, I'm like, fuck, I got to take some classes. And one of our shops in Florida, Tobacco Leaf, they hold classes there. And the first one was Coyle and Steve Sizlove class together. and got to meet both those guys. Same thing, like fucking awesome cats, amazing teachers. I learned so much fine tuning of my work. It wasn't that I necessarily learned new techniques, but it was like that fine tuning that you need. And then the second round was Joe Peters and Peter Mueller, and with those guys having a soft glass background and working together background, that was amazing as well. Same thing, both guys were awesome. But I did in that class, I actually learned some new stuff. I actually take it back. The Steve Sislove class, he showed us his bubble trap technique, and that was the first thing he showed us.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. That looks fucking rad.
Yeah, and that was
he showed that to you?
Yeah, that was they basically said, "What do you guys want to learn?" That's his whole gig. Oh, dude.
So, are you allowed to do that then? Like, because same with me with the Scott Depp. Same with me in the Scott Depp and Adam G class. Like, I'll make a little lobster bowl, and it looks just like Adam. I got to tell you, when I made that bowl that looked just like Adam's bowl that I paid him to teach me, was I learned so much about like pulling and the cutting and the stretching of horns and the dotting. It just, there was symmetry. There were all kinds of condension principles that I was figuring out and melting in two separate shapes right at the same time attached to. There was a lot going on, and I was just like, wow, man. And it gets back to that copy. Are you okay?
But it was Joe Scar said that you got to imitate until you can innovate, and the Steve Sislove thing was like that. He's like, I don't give a shit if you guys are doing this. I took it, I duplicated what he does, and then I turned it into my own kind of thing, playing with that concept, the technique, which I think anybody should do. Whether you're trying to copy somebody's work, figure it out, copy it, but then put your own art and
for sure
thing into it. Because like I know Salt's even saying like I've done some did a couple practicing his rip curl perk that he does now, that little perk thing on the side of the tubes, just because I wanted. It was a great idea. Salt's he's innovative as hell. He's another one of those guys that stands out of the industry by himself, and he says, he's like, I don't give a fuck if you do this, it's a perk, whatever, just give me credit for it, or don't say you invented this type of thing.
Again, to me, then, and that's cool, but it gets along the lines of, well, it's another form of a bubbler, which Cameron started making. He was the first one. So
yeah.
Who's defining copying? Who's defining what we can and can't? I mean, like, what the fuck, man? Like, who did the first reversal? Some Egyptian almost? Like, we saw the line tubing. We saw him wig-wag it out. I don't think we ever saw him like fully melted into a shape, but that's like fully shrink it down and make it reverse. But they were fucking really close, and most of what we a lot of our initial patterns seems to be replications of artwork that they did millennia ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. I think we pull a lot of, which is what I appreciate now with our industry, is that the guys like the Jason Lees and the Marcel Brons are going back and they're recreating their perspective on the Italian techniques. Like Jason Lee and his Murini and his it's incredible. And you got Marcel.
It's unreal.
It's crazy, right? And then now Marcel's doing
the Jason Lee deserves another second, man. Not only that, everything about his work is really, and furthermore, as a person, he is another one of the guys that's a stand-up guy to me now. I've never met him. I do want to take this opportunity to thank him on Facebook. He's been nothing but like helpful and instrumental to so many people. Like, I couldn't imagine. He's so nice to explain stuff and help people through it, and he's not like a shit talker that goes on there just to troll. And he's, again, we didn't have that. I didn't have a fucking Facebook page in 1996 with Scott Depp and with Jason Lee fucking going, well, you do it like this, I fucking did. He's taken 20 years of his experience and just spitting it on your face, and you're like, wow, literally on your Facebook, and you're just like barely even thanking him for it, man. I was always like, God, dude, I can't believe it. And the kids are just like, it seems like they almost have like we owe him this or something. I don't know, maybe people aren't grateful enough. I just think that what he's actually doing is so wonderful and instrumental and huge into the movement of glass blowing as it is now, and the whole art as a culture, that what he's doing is instrumental. And
I agree.
I needed to stop you for a second. I'm sorry.
No, it's good, dude. No, it's cool, man. Because I remember when he put his first video out there as a tech video that he ever was like, he got his GoPro on his hat and whatever, and he's got his little Smith torch and he's got his GTT going, and he showed us how he does his wigwags, and does a reversal, but he does it in like super, super fast speed. So you gotta if you're gonna watch it, you gotta slow the shit down to 10,000 times slower, and then be able to watch the process, But it's cool that he did that. He gave everybody an opportunity to see his perspective, even because of the shot of the GoPro, looking down,
Yeah,
on what he's doing.
and then Bob Harley Dog. While we're on that subject, I
Yep.
like it. He does so much in Revere Glass.
Yep.
Bob's another cool guy I haven't met. That's just been nothing but nice on the internet. Even in the asshole rooms, like he's still just nice.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, the guys
man,
that do the Torch Talk page, like he's a part of those guys, and they're all
Okay.
like they're an awesome group of people. All the guys that do Torch Talk. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
badass.
I even like the Revere Glass videos, and if you're a young glass blower, those are good. And even Mountain, I like what Mountain Glass is doing. I give them my business now, well, because and I had a falling out. I didn't check my invoices every time I ordered, and after 6 months, I realized they gave me some false invoicing. Changed my discount rate from 30 to 10% on different orders. Tried to argue that it was money sizes when I was like, no, look, clearly it's not, because you gave me this on this big order and you gave me that on that. Anyways, they owe me about $500. So after 15 years, I stopped doing business with them and went to Mountain Glass, and I'm much happier. And they plant a tree for every $100 you spend. So I think I've planted like 2,000 trees or something in the last few years. Yeah, seriously, just planted a forest. And that, they're a very green business, and I like to deal with. I try to be as green as I can. We all know that our torches aren't the greenest things in the world, even though my torch literally is green. But I guess that's an irony. But we try to do the best we can to maintain, standards that are environmentally sound as possible. Like keep my boxing, my shipping, everything I use, reuse. As much as I can, and I deal with businesses that are green as well. So, and I'm promoting a business that's green right now. So hopefully, you guys go there for your needs. And I'm not affiliated with these people at all.
But we are, man. The show is sponsored.
But I'm affiliated with the Earth.
Right. Well, we're sponsored by Mountain Glass, man. So I do ads and spots and promote them every day.
Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, Mountain Glass.
They're a bunch of fucking dicks. I'm just kidding. Those guys are
Yeah,
cool.
Joe, you hear that?
Sorry, Joe. I'm just kidding, man.
Yeah, they're cool, man. They just expanded, got a new warehouse too, which is pretty
Saw
nice.
that. I love that. It makes me just want to be more of a customer and get and they're always so helpful. And I ask a question, they give me an answer, everything I need. I've never had a problem with them. Like, God, I couldn't foresee them saying what said to me. Oh, I'm sorry. We won't retroactively credit your account. What? Where's my Dave Chappelle? Where's my what? What? Did I tweak out the mic there? I'm like, seriously, lady, did you just say you want retro? Is this the 80s or something? What do you mean retroactively credit? What?
Yeah, man, I agree though. It's hard with the whole green thing too, because like here we have no recycling anything for borosilicate glass in my town anywhere in the state, much less that I know of. Some areas that I hear do have recycling for boro, but it's it sucks. The amount of glass I throw away, that's just bullshit.
It's my cutoff jar, but
yeah.
I try. God, dude, I have boxes. If anybody wants to buy them, they should contact. I box like all my fittings that I've ever bought. I keep the glass, and I use lens. I try not to use Chinese anything. And, as much as I can help it, I got these jars and they were Chinese, and I probably will stop using them, but they work great. And they're like, not expensive because they're Chinese, and the other places that sell them for way more. And it's like, God, everything is Chinese, really, man. I mean, like, you start talking to the right people, and a lot of these color companies were possibly using some Chinese, mixed color to start their batches.
Yeah.
And then even one of these companies that just got the UST 33, I use that American Boro now for as much as I can. Mm-hmm. I'm still using shot artistic Boro. I know, whatever. People say it's got shot. No, shot artistic Boro does not suck. I'm sorry. Doesn't have those. I get an air bubble rarely. Maybe. Do I get pick of the litter? I doubt it. I don't see what I get. I just get random. And I hand roll it, and the stuff is straight. And I usually never have a problem, and I've been using it for a decade, and I really don't have a problem. But I'm happily switching over to American.
Yeah.
So that fume's awesome. That's really. I was like, it reminds me of Cymax, how well it fuses.
Hell yeah.
I mean fumes.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. How's your fuming working on a GTT? Have you gotten it figured out and got dialed in?
Yeah, it didn't take long. I mean, it's I'm still kind of. I've found the right flame, and it's almost like this gentle tapping effect that I get there, where I don't let the flame get the fume too hot and melt the silver back into the the rod too much. It's like you keep it at a certain temperature. It's like a specific flame and temperature that it gets at, that it's working at, and I think I found it finally.
Nice.
Yeah, it took a minute between, and I still haven't hooked up the compressed air. I have the compressed air part because the GTT is a new torch to me. You're talking, I went from a four knob torch in a Carlisle with a foot pedal, save oxygen to try to be green and financially sound.
Right.
I've always used foot pedals, but I went from 4 knobs to 12. So can I get a break here and just cut back a couple of knobs and let's just figure out. I'm not in a hurry. Like, I want to figure out the torch before I go adding what they just kind of added to their torches themselves after all these years. So I want to learn exactly what everything does, and all these flames work, and how to fume, and what operating ranges I'm using at, and how, for all these colors and everything before I add the compressed air. And then maybe that's a stupid idea, I don't know, but I'm about to add the compressed air because I feel like I got the torch under control. And I just, if I don't know what it works leading up to that, then if I have a problem, then how am I going to figure it out backtracking it, So
yeah, it's one more thing you gotta check off the list.
Yeah, so fuck it. I got it all together. It didn't hurt me. I'm doing just fine. My class is great. Yeah. I'm very happy with this torch, and I'm about to hook up the air and get it on. So we'll see how that even works.
Hell yeah. So is your studio at your house?
Yeah, for now. I mean, I don't really have much choice.
Yeah.
It's just where it is. I actually got a nice house down here. I moved back in a family home with a sizable chunk of land for being in San Diego. So it's in a little horse community just right out. I mean, I can see that. I can throw a rocket in it. I'm close to downtown, a little too close maybe, but it's beautiful. Up my hill, at the top of my hill, overlooks the whole freaking Point Loma, the city, the Coronado Bridge. I'm a few miles from the beach. It's right. I used to live in North County, and that was really awesome. I loved it up there. That was beautiful. My neighborhood sucked, but the county itself, that's where it's at. But I can't complain where I'm at here, man. This is an old family home, and I got a lot of land, and I think I'm going to build a studio here. I'm having a problem with oxygen, which kind of leads us to our next, that'd be the concentrators. Yeah. So, I have this house, and I want to blow glass in my house, right? So they won't get me liquid. I used to get liquid back in the old days, but air gas is just, and I'm sick of it. And like everybody else, we're all just fucking sick of it. Yeah. And so, I'm like trying to figure out ways to get rid of them. It's like a bad girlfriend that I just don't want in my life anymore. And I don't mind. I'll just fuck you once, I guess, in a while. But if I got to refill a tank, fine. But having the concentrator, I really don't go there anymore. If I do, it's like because I'm working really hard, and maybe I get a 1 tank every few weeks or 1 tank a month, or But usually the concentrator and compressor that I have can keep up with it. It's just the standard system that people have. I think it's a 5 liters per minute system.
Okay.
And really, because the guy that I bought it from, Salt City, they had.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit, dude.
I wanted to buy it from. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. My kids came home. I wanted to buy the system from somebody that would help me figure it out. I didn't want to just go off of. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I didn't want to just go off of Facebook, and what I read on the internet.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I wanted to hire these guys and have them actually like teach me kind of how to use this and what the deal is, and get the right professional way to put this in my fucking house, my garage. I have a big garage, but still, I don't want to, I just wanted to know. I'd read a lot about it. I'd studied it for a while, and I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to do this. And I did it, and oh my God, dude, I actually had an issue with it, but there's a little, I think a check valve it's called, and it's on the bottom of the whip that hooks into the actual compressor. That comes with it. The system is a 2-unit part. It's the concentrator on the bottom, and that runs for about $750. And then there's actually you can get them cheap though, $300 on, but you don't know how many hours they have. That's something else you gotta watch out for, because they don't last forever. And the concentrator on the bottom and the compressor on the top, and so you hook into that with your whip, and that's really, you can buy all those things off Craigslist pretty cheap. But I wanted to know. I just spent the extra. I spent like almost $1,400. I think I spent about 12 something with the whip. I got a 2-cylinder system. I went to fill 2 cylinders. I fill 2 300-pound tanks at a time. Okay. He said it would be easier and increase the life of the compressor and oxygen concentrator. So I'm like, cool. So basically it fills 2 of my 300s. Like in a 12-hour period, I got 300 in each. So I was like 600 total PSI, so they don't want you to fill up more than 1,500. They really say 1,000. But at first he said 1,500 per tank, because you don't want to put that much stress on the compressor pumping, but you're having two at once. So I can almost fill these things in pretty much a few days. And so if I have both of them filling at the same time, then I've been able to just switch off when my one tank runs out. By that time, the two have filled up,
Yeah, it makes sense.
So it's been working, unless like I start kicking down nines and this GTT sucks up the oxygen. So it's been a little bit more, but it's it's a lot better than going to air gas all the time, because I would have to put the tanks in my car, and I swear to God, I almost got in an accident last time. Fucking idiots on the road. Air gas ripped me off. Like, they charged me regular prices, $105 for 2 tanks, and I didn't realize until I got home and looked at the receipt. Jesus. I'm horrible for that. Look at your receipts. I'm just the worst. And so they they fixed it immediately when I called them. And but it's just one thing or another. I had to wait there for a half an hour for tanks. The guy did give me free 2 tanks having to wait there, but I haven't bought air in a month. So it's been really nice. And the only reason I bought air is because the QVC check valve, a $2 part, went out on it, and I might have dropped it on the floor. It might even have been my fault, because I didn't really realize or something, that it had like such a little precious part that in the check valve. So maybe I let it hit a tank or something. I'm trying to be careful, but
yeah, for sure.
So that system works pretty well.
Hell yeah! Do you find it affect your power bill much?
About $100.
Okay.
About 100 to 150 if I'm running it 24/7. Once I get usually I am, but the $100, I was going about $150 of air a week, so it's minimal. So But if you run a liquid and you're running a big shop, then this isn't the thing for you. You would want to go with the high volume oxygen systems, but then you're talking like
10
grand, 12 to 15 grand.
Yeah, exactly.
10 grand. Like, who wants to? If you have that money, then cool. Then you want to produce your own oxygen. And I don't run my torch directly off it, so I'm not trying to look for a system that can compensate my torch live. I just run it off the tanks. And the guy's like saying to me that you don't need to buy those bigger liter per minute machines, like a 20 LPM, because he said the machines only pump 2 liters per minute to the actual, from the concentrator to the compressor. So, that's what that guy told me at Salt City Glass. Now, so I had that problem. It took him weeks to get back to me. The guy was like sick. We had some issues trying to get back with them. And I told him, I'm like, look, I'm about to go on this radio show and talk about you guys. So it was like, they had a 3-month warranty, and I don't know what standard. I didn't check Mountain Glass's warranty, but they only had a 3-month, and I was at 4. They honored it, but it was like, they replaced, if it was the compressor, they sent it to me because there was no oxygen coming out that I thought, apparently.
Right.
But it was really just the check valve. I wasn't getting a reading on the gauge. And if you do get a whip with the gauge. Spend the extra money to get the gauge on the whip so you can read your tank levels, and do run a 2-tank system. Get the whip with 2 possible tanks. Now, that one might be hard to find. That's why you want to go to Salt City and get it there, or if Mountain Glass has one, I don't know if they have the whips there. But get one with the gauge. I put a gauge on so I could get them, so I could read it, see where I'm at, and shut it down and do what I need to.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Absolutely. Yeah, hell yeah. Right on, dude. That's good to know. So, in terms of your product line that you're producing, what when you first got started, what were you doing from the very beginnings to where you're at now, I guess? You're saying
bowls, and I was like bowls, bubblers, Sherlock, sidecars, whatever I could make, pretty much all hand pieces.
Yeah.
And then I started making bongs. And then my bongs turned into like 15% of the orders I would bring to shops, like Doc's Glass in Baltimore. Shit, I used to have like 20, 25 stores on the up and down from the Carolinas to New York. I used to hustle on the East Coast. And I got an affiliate a little bit. Frolic was like a chain of 3 to 4 stores at the time. I think they're up to 6 or 7 now. And
wow.
I haven't put much stuff in their stores in a while, because I've been so busy. I've been able to sell it out here and sell it to people around here. And it's nicer to get the money faster, really. Sometimes shipping glass, it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that, so who do you ship through? Do you go through the post office or UPS or something?
I go through the post office mostly now. UPS just raised their rates, man. They just like pretty much tripled them. And And if I do have to use some, I'll use a FedEx, and I'll go to like a Kinko's where it's an actual FedEx arm of FedEx. It's not like mailboxes where they're making money off of FedEx. This is actually FedEx. They're sure Kinko's is making money, but they have their whole deal. You're actually getting the rate that if you walked into a FedEx warehouse that FedEx would give you.
Yeah.
So because they do so much volume that they can give you a good shipping rate there. So I highly recommend if you ship, you do that too. But I use that for shipping of everything. You know, I use the post office. It's been really, but they're about to raise their rates too. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I hear you. I have like the past, it's probably 8 months. I have had some like shit issues with the post office. Packages not getting delivered or getting returned because of unpaid postage. That wasn't my fault because of the kiosk was calibrated wrong. Like all kind of fucked up shit. And then they'd say like, oh yeah, we'll replace this and that, and then they don't. And I don't know. It's been kind of a pain in my ass. So I've got a UPS for just to try them for right now because that's who I used to sell to or deliver through. But like you're saying, they're expensive.
Do you go to like a mailboxes or do you have like a UPS store you go to?
I went to a UPS store yesterday.
I don't even know if the UPS store is really the UPS store.
No, it's a privately owned business. I think they still. I don't know. It's the mailbox places. I do know they charge extra, but I think
they charge a lot extra.
Yeah. I think
it's a business.
Oh yeah,
but we're here to try to tell you what to do and not to do. So.
Yeah, exactly. But the UPS store, I think they're the same price as UPS themselves.
Look, can I get my boxes at like? I even get my boxes at Home Depot for like 74 cents.
Yeah, I did the same thing, dude. Yeah.
Some of my stuff there when that seemed because otherwise you're paying dollars, 2, 3, 4, 5 at a mailboxes again. So
yeah, I know some of the like the office supply stores. If you buy one box, it's like $2, but if you buy 5 of them, it's like 25 cents each. Like it's
if I'm shipping big boxes, I'm probably gonna FedEx it to take it to this place. But I've been doing these one-offs, and I found this right size for the post office, and I luckily have a really good post office. It gets my stuff across the country in 2 days.
Nice.
So I shrink it down to it has to be 7 inches. I get that 16 by 12 box and I cut it down and fold it over and it fits one of my like 12 to 15 inch tubes in there perfectly. And I've just been getting those out to people, running auctions like often. I haven't run one yet since Thanksgiving, but because I've been busy doing production work for the glass warehouse. Hey, they pay the bills, man.
No, dude, fuck it. I always say I did a whole show on not a whole show, but it was a quick little show on the pros and cons of distributors, and I've had 2 that I deal with. So you do what you got to do.
I deal with them. It's a very scaled back version of the piece that I'm selling for more on, for way more. I mean, it makes me not want to deal with them. I'm like, look, you're gonna have to pay a little more for these, even just base wise, because. It can't conflict at all with my product that I have that I'm selling, and it won't because it doesn't get like the handmade ground joints. It doesn't get the color lip wrapped extra sections or the worked extra mouthpiece sections, or they don't get cane on the inside of the lip wrap. They don't get a lot of shit.
Yeah,
they don't get a fucking bowl. Everything. There's nothing on the bottom. They don't get as much of a feather job on the bubble. Everything is scaled back. Even the shaping, I'll scale it. Anything, if it's just that's what they want to pay. They tell me a price, and that's where we're agreed. Then I have to try to work a piece into that, and that sucks. But it's pain. As long as I can just get it over with fast, and it's like I feel like such a whore sometimes. But
hey, we're all whores, man. This is the adult industry. That's what it's all about.
I gotta feed my kids, man.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't fucking care. They just say pay the fucking you make glass, bro. Yeah. That's what you do. That's what you're gonna do. Then you need to do it.
Yeah. Even the guys out there that are the ballers, quote unquote, they do production stuff too. I mean, you got to do it. You can't always make $5,000 pieces.
Or 9,000. God, I went to that Honey Drop gallery.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
And I'm so happy to see glass priced that high.
Yeah, me too.
Fuck yeah! But it seems that it's just a few people, chosen people, get that, and that's kind of sad, And I had just dropped off a huge, heady as fuck order to the glass to West Side Gallery there in LA. This awesome new gallery that their owner Peter, he is just like become such a good friend of mine, and I'm so thankful I've met this guy and he came into my life at a time where I really needed someone like him, and so thankful for this. That they've taken me in, and their art is amazing. But we went to that show, and I had just given him a piece, and my piece was like bigger, way heavier because I'm old school, and some cases way more work. Not, I'm not at the gallery. I would give myself in the, top in the 50% range there. I was just as good as 50% of the stuff. Some of that stuff I haven't tried. I don't have the time to do some of that other stuff. Because I have to get these orders. I have to, if you look at my page, you see what I'm selling right now. It's like that's what kind of that's what people are buying, and it's been getting upped, a little bit. If people are going to spend more money than on my auctions, then I'm going to put a little bit more into it. So that's what's been going on.
Yeah,
They've been spending a little bit more, and well, now it's this one I got lined up. I've got like 3 horn sections, a couple of arrows. It's gonna just blow minds. It's a couple of sections. It's really gonna, and I can just do crazier shit. But like, I got a couple pieces that I'm sitting on that are like fucking like $10,000 pieces,
right?
And way beyond the work of that. This alien head that's in a UFO. They're shooting some of that shit I just don't even want to sell. It's like fucking took so much work. Like I put weeks into that I just did a little at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I made it with fucking slime, man, and that goddamn shit, man. then it cracks and blows up on you 6 months later. You're like, ah.
Hell yeah! I was actually looking at West Sides. I got some pieces in there. Little.
Oh yeah.
UVL.
I did see your glass when I was there. I did see it. I remember seeing. I was like, yes.
Yeah, they're cool.
I dig your work, man. Your work is cool.
Thanks, man.
I loved your owls.
Thank you.
It made me want to just put a bunch of them on a branch and families and make little nests and just snuggle with them. They're so cute.
I'll have to mail you some so you can do that.
Snuggle owls. There's your blanket.
Yeah.
There's your first product.
Yeah, my new Snuggie.
You just make a big, or you either make a full body suit that's an owl fleece style, or a fleece blanket with owls all over it as your first piece of clothing. Or no, you probably have t-shirts already, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Just a basic logo.
Yeah. All right. Well, then you get a blanket going, man.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Like a onesie or something.
$10,000 worth of shit.
Yeah.
Sign it. Draw some shit all over it.
Hell yeah.
Reminds me of this piece I saw Adam G do. Did you see that one where I think he picked one of Quavi's pieces and he just wrote all over it.
Hilarious.
He melted it in and he just wrote some fucking words all over his fucking piece.
Hell yeah.
That is the fucking best art I have. That is some of my favorite shit. Like, the art that makes you feel stuff. You're just like, ugh. Then I got you. Okay, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. I got you.
Yep.
And then that's what I'm looking for. I want you to feel something when you look at my glass.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. 100%.
It's kind of what I'm in. It's what I'm in it for. The love of it. Cool. If I can pay my bills, that's a great side thing. But let's clear that up. It's I barely make it by. There's been months where I've lived off credit cards, man. And years, the last few, when that Chinese took over, that there was a few years where it was just like I was almost in the gutters. I was just like, what the fuck is?
Yeah.
So I had to get off the production horse, but still doing a little bit to maintain. But it was just full time, just shops everywhere. How much production can I do? Like, no, that's not what I'm in it for. I don't like that. That's just not. I like to create, and that's where Palomar helped me. I could break out of the torch mold. That broke me out. I could do really big things in a furnace and there, and I just made some huge stuff that was just out of control for a beginner because I had torch work and being 6'5", 300 pounds, I could throw around some glass like a beast. People just loved it. We would just make huge. There were some big pieces coming out of there. But so can Lino, man, and he's not even close to my size.
Right,
so
I know it's
he
crazy.
He can throw bigger shit than me. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, dude. It's fun that you did that because I think every glass artist needs to take at least a weekend class in a furnace. Just to get that environment, learn the hand
years
sets.
There, and I don't even think it was enough.
No, I totally agree. Absolutely.
But yeah, just learning the thermal dynamics is very imperative to your glass career.
Yeah, it makes you slow the fuck down, and just pay attention to what you're doing.
The colors of your glasses and the color of your flame that it's making when you're heating it up, and how all the gases that you're putting into there and everything that's going on.
Yeah,
you gotta have all that shit up.
Yeah, I agree. It took me a while to really once we were saying before with the newer colors coming out to really find the right area in my flame to work this that sweet spot. And every color has its own little sweet spot. It's kind of a fun
totally.
trial and error.
But we almost get a pattern down to where we put something through it and then boom, okay. When I get a new color, I'll make almost a spoon like a lot of people do, or a bowl piece for a bong, and I'll test it out that way. And let's do a honeycomb, let's encase it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's stress it.
Yeah,
let's leave it out for a little while, put it back in my flame.
Yep, I do the same shit. It's funny.
Let's see what we can do. Let's encase it. Let's fucking put it on inside out. Let's let it sit out for a couple of weeks,
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting you're saying that. I'm going to start doing a timeline, like an industry timeline of like techniques, like using my wise guys, my owls. I'm going to do like a different, like a little small owl and a different technique pattern wise that we've had from the very beginning to where we are now. And
that's an awesome idea.
you know, but thinking about that, yeah, thanks, dude. It was kind of a thing, like, you know, you're saying these colors we've had to deal with and experiment, and you know, the days of the old sparkly colors when they were out for a while that, you know, were amazing, and then they would come out the kiln and like 4 days later the whole thing would check, you know, or some shit, you know. You know, it's, or you get a call from a customer, like, yeah, man, fuck, this just happened. I'm like, what are you talking about? No way. And then sure shit, you get pictures and it's in like 4 pieces, you know, nothing you did wrong. It's just bad COE or some weird shit, you know.
Yeah, I hate that. That's just fuck. It's such a bum out, man. And you know, of course, we all guarantee our glass, you know, as like little guys, but fucking Hitman or somebody does that, they're not, you know, you're kind of probably screwed. Like,
yeah, I don't know how those bigger guys work, you know, especially when a lot of times they don't even sell directly to the customer.
Right,
you
exactly.
Know? It's kind of an interesting thing.
That's why it's good to support local artists and artists that just aren't part of a huge conglomerate. Although I don't know exactly what big name artists work for Hitman Glass, really. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, exactly.
If there is any. Anyways, so I like what you just touched on something there, that your owls, that you've been doing it for a while, and that's cool. You have a thing, but it doesn't seem like you hyper focus on one little thing. It seems like your art, you have a lot of stuff you do and try to accomplish, or you're not just sitting around making owls all day, every day, all day for
right.
like 15, 20 years. That's pretty cool, because everybody's like, you got to have a thing. Well, you have a thing, but you keep going on. I dig that about you, that you have a multitude of art that you're hitting while still having a thing.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, you know, it's like the wise guy, like I'm trying to, the goal from the beginning with the concept was to create a brand. I was never expecting it to lead into this type of area of the branding, but it has, which is awesome. But yeah, man, I've always been the kind of, for myself personally, with techniques, because I'm self-taught. I would see something new in a shop. I'm like, what the fuck? I would go home and try to figure it out and ask around. Nobody would say yes or no, you know, until you really figured it out. Then they would say, yeah, that's how you do it. But once I would figure it out, I'd do a couple things, then I would move on to the next thing, you know, just kind of figuring out. And once I found something that really kind of stuck with me, which for me personally is shape. I love shape and glass. I love, that's like Steve Seislove. His work to me is, I love his work because of his Venetian style techniques. It's very sexy. You know, I like
traditional forms. Yeah,
I love it.
Soft
like
glass
the
forms.
Yeah, like the woman, like the female shape is incredible.
Yeah.
So I've always been in the shape, which I think with the owls is what I got into. But the owl brand has allowed me to take techniques that I know and still create a form from it. That's
okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, because you know, I see people are like, you gotta have a thing, and it's like, my thing is I don't have a thing. I'm too ADD. I can't like do any one thing like more than once. So I can do it for a little while, and then there's something else, or I want to blend it with something else that I already did.
Right.
You know. So I need it. I guess I need a thing, man. That's what.
Well,
you know,
yeah,
Eric.
No,
go ahead.
I was gonna say I think it is important to a sense to, because like kind of back up. You know, before Operation Pipe Dreams happened, we all had this underground name. You know, we had our name that we didn't put our.
That's where I still kind of live in that day where we could be busted by the feds.
Right.
So why are you putting your shit on the computer?
Right. Exactly. But
that's what they got busted for.
Yeah, exactly.
Over shipping lines.
Yeah, no, totally, absolutely. Which is why I have a lawyer coming on the show several times where we're talking about all these stuff. But
so I'm still scared because Jason's my friend and he got arrested.
Yeah, no, totally, no, I agree.
And it's very instrumental in my career. And you know, early in the story, it's like, God, I'm like, at this point, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm glad I'm in California, which I came to, because in Maryland, you know, you think about where you are, it could be conceived as paraphernalia production, you know, manufacturing, paraphernalia, distribution. Who knows what they could dream up? Bullshit.
Oh yeah, no, totally, dude.
Even though the intent is on the user.
Right. Yeah, and that's where my law episodes come in, because it's like there's so many fine lines, but now with laws changing. And,
well, then you might like this one. The guy I lived with got busted by the DEA. And they thought he had a grow room in his glass barn, and he was producing glass there, and that's where I was working out of too. But I moved out before this happened. His number was in everybody else that got busted's number. You know, they were after the strain, the P91. It seemed like they were hunting down the strain, and they were the feds. And it was fucking serious. I'm not making any of this up. And they were going to people's houses looking for it. And I heard crazy stories where they found other weed, left it, and were just looking for the P. Anyways, it happened to one of my friends. It literally happened to him. And I still don't, I have a hard time believing that. But anyways, they were in fact busting this ring of people that did grow this specific type of strain. And they looked at his electric bills and they looked at it. His shop had ventilation and they were like, okay, definitely. And they rated him at like 5:30 in the morning. They 23 DH, it's helicopters, everything, and came in and got him. And they found nothing. They couldn't do anything because they found less than an eighth of herb, and he didn't have anything. And they were like, wah, wah, and they didn't give a fuck about the glass. He had glass everywhere, and they're we don't care about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't fucking care about glass. And I was like, phew.
Yeah, that's kind of what I still have my paranoia and my concerns. Like when I'm in my garage or when I was in my garage, same thing, dude. Like I'm in here working at night, and the local sheriff's helicopter's flying around with his lights off, and they got their infrared on, I'm sure. Now we've gone past Operation Pipe Dreams and gotten past the bullshit. I don't know where the environment is in the world.
You hope
it's a
10-year cycle, man.
Oh no, I totally understand that, but I'm just kind of like I'm just saying.
Sorry
like,
to interrupt.
No, you're good. I'm just saying though, just in terms of like, we'll pretend that we are all good to go, no thing to worry about, you know. So to get a thing for yourself, I think is something. When I did my show with Jupiter Nielsen, and one of the last things he said advice was, which I thought was awesome, was to find something that you're a super nerd about, and then try and create that influence in your glass. Not necessarily making a character, but like trying to find, you know, whether you're a Star Wars nerd or whatever. But I do think that it's a good thing to have a thing, to have a brand that you can help promote. People would recognize that stands out, even if it's just like your logo. It doesn't have to necessarily be your glass. You know, it's just like kind of something that says.
That's brilliant right there.
You know,
I think you're really right on. I just got a logo, and so yeah.
But it is important.
Thankful. And you're right about the logo.
You know, brand recognition is definitely a big thing.
Because
then you can run off a merchandise with it if you want. You know, like if you want to get a line of shirts or whatever. You know,
like look what Slinger's doing. You know, that's like awesome. And it goes back. It's like good. People should be making money. Glass should be of value, but the right kind of glass. Some shitty Chinese glass that some companies that I'm not going to mention, I mentioned before, make that they pass off as real American glass. That we all fucking know that ain't American glass. Mm-hmm. That shit shouldn't be high dollar, and that kind of creates this confusion, I think, in the customer's eyes, and it could backfire on all of us one day. You know, because right now it's a kind of a good time for everybody, and unless you're just putting shit. And I'm sorry if the Chinese are copying you, but if your glass is so easy that the Chinese can copy. I don't know. I mean, some of it that doesn't apply to, don't get me wrong, but some of it, it's like, well, if you can make something so simple, I don't see the Chinese copying size love. So the Chinese will not copy depth. And if you do anything with American color in it, the Chinese will not copy you, because the Chinese will not import American color. It's too much, ruins the whole, they get all the shit that why we don't like Chinese. They get their oxygen for nothing, their rent's nothing, third world country conditions there. They just slave labor, the kidnap, forced labor, no ventilation. They don't have to buy their employees glasses. You see those videos.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just like, it's unreal.
Yeah, then you have Facebook groups dedicated to that type of shit coming in, and people are buying it and promoting it. It's
crazy. But then at the same time, we're all buying Walmart shit too. Like, I can't imagine my socks were made, and what choice do I have, really, sometimes?
No, I totally agree, man. That's definitely.
We just got to try to stay away from it as much as we possibly can. I don't use the fittings. The glass sucks. It cracks. So like I said, the jars are the only thing I have that's Chinese, and they, if people don't, people like them, and I do this Medi-Cal for medical use, and they've actually gotten friends out of trouble with law enforcement because the jar states for medical use and has a green cross on it, indicating that the legality of the contents could be possibly defended in court under a medical identity. So that's kind of the thought process that went into that invention, was like, let's just use this jar, this product, this idea, if you want, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
The Medi-Cal idea. And I didn't know the company Medi-Cal existed, and I spell it a little different, and I hyphenate it, and I only sell it in clinics, really. It's not for sale anywhere, and I give the jars away. So it's like, I'm not trying to infringe on their name or anything. It's just a product line for clinics. And I was doing great with that for a while. Like, I would go to clinics, and then once Bush got out of office, and I'm not going to get into politics, but it's been really bad. If you read any kind of news stories on the Obama administration has cracked down. It's been horrible. It's been the worst. The things they've done to medical marijuana patients is just abhorrent. It's straight up just evil. The way that the shirts that they wear, let's say, and the head of what just said, the most alphabet agency just said that there is no such thing. That's a joke. That MMJ is a joke. And it's like, this is the mentality. Meanwhile, Brazil, the government of Brazil, just contracted a company north of me in Poway here in Southern California that makes medical marijuana oils. Just contracted it for Parkinson's for their people to buy it for their people. Huh. The government
That's
of
amazing.
fucking Brazil. If that is not enough proof for a medical use to take marijuana off Schedule 1 fucking class of drugs, then I don't know what the fuck is. And it's just like, I don't want to get into the whole legal rights issues and shit with you. We got so much we can talk about, but it's just such a bomb out. It's good to see legalization finally start happening and states waking up and people waking up and I guess old people dying and those people that reefer madness generations just still left. There's still some of them sitting around,
mm-hmm.
But and there are always new ones created. I don't understand. I'm straight. Cool, you're straight. You got to tell me about it, straight laced or whatever, that straight edged or whatever. And I'm not talking about sexual orientations or preferences or anything. I'm talking about, people who don't do anything.
Yeah.
Cool, more power to you, but don't rub it in my face.
Yeah, exactly. Or hate me because I do my thing.
Right? I mean, God, I could list off all day. I got back issues. I got legitimate medical back issues and muscle spasms that occur. I'm blowing glass in pain too. So, it helps.
Yeah.
Endlessly.
Well, with
muscle relaxation.
Yeah, exactly. So on that same topic in your studio, like, do you have it set up to sit and stand at the same time? Like, how do you?
I do like a lot more sitting than standing, like, because of my rollers. So I'll sit and roll, and my back, I'll lean. I have pads, and really, if I would stand, I'm a big dude, and you're all hunched over. Look at those guys.
Oh,
Look
yeah,
at their
it's terrible.
backs.
Yeah.
Look at how hunched over they are. So I have my back straight. Seriously, I'm on a chair. Now the chiropractor wanted me to be on my knees. He wanted me to get one of those knee chairs.
Yeah, it makes sense, totally. So you're not using your back.
Yeah, but it's like I need to be on a roller knee chair because I need to get out of there if possible.
Yeah,
But I got pads and I'm right over my torch, and I'm mostly leaning on my elbows a lot, as much as possible, to keep the stress off my back, to keep my back straight and posture as straight as possible, instead of being, because I'm big, I would have to hunch way over, and I do, and that hurts my back. And then standing for 12 hours hurts. But the key here now, talking to a chiropractor about what we do and what I do in the positions that I'm in, the key is to change positions. And it's like every so many minutes, like 20 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever, stand up, move your legs around, change your position, get up, walk around, so, get the blood flowing. You don't want embolism or anything like that. The key is to change postures and just to keep fluid and moving around, keep your body moving. So I will stand up. I'll stand up and do something for a few minutes or something. Then I'll sit back down or whatever, even if it's just to stand up and do some Tai Chi just for a second.
Yeah.
Or, just go through form 1 of your Tai Chi forms, and that is really helpful.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, dude, doing like basic yoga stretches and what have you. It's like it's so important to be limber and flexible, and especially as those of us been doing this, because I know myself, dude, like my left hand, it's like chronically been sore for probably about 4 months now, and I know it's because of overuse from the years, but it's also because of the addition of texting, playing my stupid games on my fucking iPad, like dumb shit that I should cut back from doing, but I still do it because it's a stupid crack habit that I have, and I can't stop it sometimes.
Masturbational issues?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Crack would probably be better. It'd probably be better for me right now because I'll fucking buy crack and actually getting work done instead of not working because my hand hurts.
It's hard to get much work done on crack.
Yeah, I've never done it before, so I don't know from personal experience. But
neither do I.
Seems kind of crazy.
I've never smoked crack in a glass studio.
Yeah, good.
I know I don't smoke crack. That's fucking whack. But I did tour with a band, and I was on the road for a very long time with some serious rock stars who had band members die of drugs. So I have been exposed to a different life.
Fun. But yeah, dude. So stretching and being are you having any kind of like carpal tunnel issues at all? You feeling your wrists at all?
Dude, big time. Like, because I spin on rollers, and I'm trying to get money together for a lathe. But like, if I don't stretch and do everything right, even so, I still feel it. Massages, chiropractic care really helps. So you got to keep getting massages and exercise and take care of yourself. Right. I don't really drink much or do any bad drugs, so that makes it a lot easier to take care of yourself when you feel good all the time, because you're not like drunk or hungover, or you fucking stayed up all night doing coke or some shit. That's just not my bag anymore. So or whatever.
Yeah.
But like,
I agree. Yeah, I preach that same thing, dude. Like a massage at least every 2 weeks if you can if you can afford it.
I try to do it.
It's so big. Like my neck and my forearms are like that whole tightness from my shoulders to my back of my neck to my wrists, and that's
where all my totally it all is.
You know.
Well, and I do this all day with my hand, like you're trying to pet a dog. So, and with the heavier pieces, and I'm going faster, it like hurts my forearm if I do too many. I'm like, I would have to start wearing a wrist guard. I can start to feel a little bit, and I'll wear something that'll help give me some support there. But I'm still doing that with my hands. I got titanium in my hand from a rugby. I played rugby. I played pro rugby for a team in DC too. I started rugby in high school, but I got some titanium in my college team. We won a bunch of shit. We were really awesome. And then the pro teams I played for were just average, but one was right outside of DC, PAC, and they were pretty good. It was kind of fun when I played for them. We were right outside the White House. The helicopters fly over all the time.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I got titanium in that, so I try to take extra care. I play guitar, that helps a little bit. I haven't had as much time with the kids to play music as I like to. Used to always Eric and I would jam. I'm the bass player from Sublime. He moved to San Diego County, so I get more time with him. But it's like glass takes over your life. I saw some influential glass blower said, I wish I could remember his name, on Instagram the other day. He said something. He's like, be sure to, don't be too busy that you don't take the time to carve out a life for yourself.
Absolutely. And that's what, I hate to keep saying it, but my whole point of this show is to share my story and everybody else's stories, but also to say what we do as glass artists in this industry and this way the laws are changing and the way the world is now. It's allowing us to afford to do whatever the fuck we want to do and don't work on the torch all the time. Even if you don't set a schedule, at least go play, go have fun.
My kids are like too. I want to I've spent so much time with them that I can never not get back. It's like fuck. I'm not rich. I don't have a lot, and I'm not working, so I'm not gonna make money. But I get to be with my family, and that means a lot to me to be able to have that opportunity to make just enough money to get by and just pay my bills. And and I had my kid in karate for a little while. She didn't want to do it anymore, but we're gonna go to, there's enough money to do extra things and stuff. So it's not. But, we're not, fuck, man. If I didn't have the Instagram, I would be fucked right now. That honestly, because my stores didn't order. The fucking guys took over. The brother took over the new store, and their Christmas order just was not anything what it used to be. And the frequency went down, and the guys, and they sell my glass. It's not there. The glass sells. It's not just different theories of ordering, different people, customers they've worked with through the years. And so I'm like,
social
Instagram is saving me.
Yeah, social media has really changed the landscape of business, and it's amazing to see new businesses that are becoming entities in the world of social media to help other businesses be successful on social media. That makes any sense. Like these platforms that are out there that you now can pay like $20 a month to be a part of. They're not sponsoring the show, but one I just talked about the other day is called Hootsuite, where you can literally pre-post all this shit for all your social media feeds, pictures, whatever. And then it's all been scheduled, and then it goes out automatically. So you're not sitting on your phone every 3 hours, unless you're running an auction. You want to keep an eye on it. But it's nice to be able to.
But don't you feel that loses a little personal touch then if you use just on that thing on it? But no, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on. I think it depends on the situation.
I don't have the time, but I'm just on Mass Roots and Instagram. I just don't. I got kids. I don't have the time to. Plus, my Facebook, I only have a few friends because I'm just so conspiracy theoried out, man. I don't want people to feel. I don't want to force it on people, so I don't want a public to come to me. I keep that shit off my Instagram page. All my Instagram's glass and occasionally a picture of San Diego. No family, no friends, no real personal shit. I'm trying to all business.
Yeah, that's smart.
But because even if I post something about chemtrails, which I did once, I got people that don't believe in it, and then now I'm chasing away customers because I'm fucking my theories or whatever. And so
it's important to keep that. Yeah,
I can't do Facebook with people. I just
I
it's
agree.
The worst. Adam G just canceled his Facebook account a while ago. He was like, when I met him in 2000, he's like, I made $30,000 off Facebook. I'm like, boy, I'm fucking doing it wrong, man. I was like, I'm still scared from the Jerome Baker getting busted in 2002.
Yeah.
I'm like, what, and like, imagine I like try to realize the craziest thing I can think of. And it's like, okay, somebody gets busted. They have a case of your glass. Then they come back to you and they find you at the wrong time. Now you're busted. And it's just like, they trace you down by your glass is my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
So I don't have a
yeah.
thing.
That's right. That's why I always worry about like even Instagram and people that use your work online, like posting pictures of your stuff being used. It's like, sure, the states that they're using it are legal for medical and recreational, but federally it's still illegal, So
Yeah,
it's like
that's the
part of this
problem.
the
And now
thing.
you're crossing state lines. And actually, I saw a Facebook issue where a Virginia state police officer is like, it comes into our state, we can take appropriate. He wasn't referring to weed, or he was referring to speech using certain words.
Uh-huh.
I think it was a ridiculous article, but it was an actual quote from an actual police officer in Virginia, which I went to high school there, and it's totally believable.
Huh.
They're just fucking assholes, man.
Yeah,
God, this East Coast towns. They just clamp you down and put signs every 100 feet on the highway. You're gonna get arrested, motherfucker. You don't even touch booze, man. Don't even think about it. Don't you dare go out fucking drive. You drive high, we'll find you. We'll search your car. They fucking arrested me one time for weed, and I was doing 84 out front of a police station.
Yeah, it sucks.
We gotta get out of here. Yeah, it is insane.
Yeah, it is. It sucks, man. So after, kind of backing up on the whole law thing with Operation Pipe Dreams, did you, what did you do at that point in time? Like, where were you at in that whole...
I was here in California, thankfully. I was like, well, if I'm going to be anywhere, it's going to be where there's a lot more freedom, medical marijuana. I'm not going to get pursued for my glass because there's so many other people. And I'm going to be in an area that's kind of big that doesn't give a shit about it. Like Philly was kind of cool like that. It was a city... It was like lawless, and we lived in North Philly, and I lived on 5th and Cecil in a warehouse that G Love lived in before me, and it fucking got spider mites. Thanks, Gary, appreciate that. But it was nice to live in the ghetto. They would leave you alone. I mean, I got pulled over one time being drunk, and I don't know, they should have arrested my ass. I pulled on the sidewalk fucking sideways. I blew a stop sign when I was going to a Long Beach Club All Stars concert in Philly. That was when I first met the band. And we were just wasted, forgot my bro's ID, drove back I was like Dukes of Hazzard in the ghetto. And they pull us out and they're like, this car smells like alcohol. I'm like, oh, that's him. I have to drive him around. He's drunk. Like, why are you pulled up sideways on the curb? And I'm like, well, it's because this is how we pull up. This is where we live. And they're like, you live here? They were like, yeah, we live in this warehouse. Right? They let me go fucking go. We had so much hash weed on us. I was just like, oh my God, Philly cops. So it's kind of nice to have a big city where you get away with some stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was kind of it for me out here to be in San Diego. And I really didn't get even harassed by the local cops. I haven't had any police problems. So it's like, but I sit in my shop 24/7. Glass keeps me out of trouble. And it keeps me working. It keeps me focused on a business and everything. So when I was younger, glass kept me out of a lot of trouble because I wouldn't go get in any trouble. I wouldn't go drinking. I wouldn't go, yes, I would, but not as much because I would be focused on my glass.
Yeah, exactly. Hell yeah.
Definitely all kinds of secondhand effects of glass that, even one time I got tested, at the beginning when I started working, it was like, people were like, oh, you're going to die in 20 years. Well, I've been blowing glass for 20 years. So fuck you motherfuckers. But, I got tested. I went to the doctor, took blood samples to see if I explained my situation, what fumes I suspected that I would be inhaling. And they tested me. And that was like 10 years in. And there was nothing in my system that showed I was inhaling any kind of silica, silver, or anything, nothing.
Yeah.
And I was concerned about it. Now that's when I invented the apron. I was like really worried about the health effects of blowing glass on myself. So now if it's going to be a night like that, I'll maybe put some suntan lotion on my face. Fortunately, I have like greasy Indian, I got kind of darker, I have pigment in my skin or something. But
I'm going to go get my blood test done. Like I'm going to work. My friend Adrienne Ladd, she goes by Glass Happy. She does the bacon and egg face little pendants and cabs and shit.
Oh,
and
yeah, I like those.
And she's dealing with the health issues that's not directly related to glass blowing, but has been kind of activated because of it in a sense. And so she was on the show and we were talking about it, and she recommended that if I go get my blood tested, to do work about 2 hours up until I go, and then be fresh and then go get tested. Because I'm really curious myself, and that was kind of one of my biggest concerns is in like 20, 30 years down the road that we're going to have this whole mass group of us that come down with some fucking cancer or something bad, all because of the little small time.
Bob's been doing it for 40 years.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like you see, we're not dealing with
how many
lead.
times Bob Snodgrass has died?
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, God, he's lost 3 testicles, a couple of lungs, a few kidneys, and he's died like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, he's still rocking.
Before the internet, and he's still here with us.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Held together by borosilicate dust.
Fucking rumors, man. That guy's been blowing glass for 40 fucking years, and he used a national, I think, for the first 20 of his career.
Oh yeah, that's how I learned. Absolutely. So, but I'm still kind of curious.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's good.
No, it's good to know.
Only because, there's been times, bro, man, I've been in some situations blowing glass where I'm like, the air's blowing back in my face from the wind, or I'm like, man, this is not healthy. So
right. I've avoided that. I would always have a double ventilation system until now, which I'm going to get it hooked up here because I kind of just still tweaking the house. I'm going to set up something else, but I would always have one fan for my fume on a duct line, hanging down on a metal duct line that I could alter and move that line because it's on a flexi tube.
Okay.
And then I would have my secondary fan just for everything else. And, like an attic fan in most places I had that I would just pop off the temperature thing and just wire it straight through like everybody else. Now I have hoods, metal hoods, and, more powerful fans. And I'm even going to step that up some more. So, but I've always really believed firmly in that double ventilation system because I would just fume and I would go right to it. And I would get something, because Vela G spent time growing up, not growing up, but he went to my shop before he blew glass, and that's how it was my setup. Anyways, those guys, I saw them recently set up the same way. It's a smart way. I mean, I only learned that from Eugene, which the guys that originally taught me were like, you should ideally have this and this. So that came from Snodgrass then. So it's not anything I thought of.
Yeah.
It's in a Eugene originated ventilator. A lot of these things that were taught down from Snodgrass are, the safety aspects. And
well, I know like in the soft glass world, I've seen some studios set up where they have like a fume box where they have just the powders, not the Fritz, but the powders are in there.
Well, yeah, we totally Fritz powder, for the sprays, and other things. There would be a fume box.
Yeah.
I did some cool fume work with some stuff there too, some spray on Dicro, something like that. I forgot what it was. Man, soft glass is fun. I miss that shit.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, dude. So I'm glad we're talking about the health thing because it's definitely important, and I want to be able to do this until the day I fucking die, be buried.
Well, my newest problem is that, my GTT eats the oxygen in a room, so I constantly have to start smelling like bleach, and you're like, fuck, it's like, damn, I'm not getting in the plumb because it's so cold. I don't have my garage open as much. I don't have my ventilation coming in as much. It's still going through. I'm still getting the things away,
right?
But it's eating the air.
Yeah, you gotta have that good mixture.
You gotta have that good mixture, otherwise there's another thing you're downing yourself about. So I'm back to daytime blowing now. The summer hours are gone. I'll be a vampire in the summer. I'll work till 4 a.m. And have to sleep. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just I'll go to like 1 or 2, get up at 7 or 8 because of my kids.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. A lot of times it's just a 5-hour night. If I'm lucky, 6. Because of the kids.
Yeah, man.
Like little Da Vinci's running around.
Right. Yeah, I agree, dude. Because I do the same kind of deal, same schedule. But I know it's like I think it's impossible to find it. But have you found the sense of like a work-life balance with being an artist?
I'm trying. I think that the balance is just keeping trying to do both. Keep trying. I have to work after 9. The kids are done and everything's done, so I get a lot of good work now, even from 9 to 2. But now I'm having the cold problem and the heat problem at 9. It's fucking too cold to have that much ventilation coming in from my glass. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to just utilize the daytime hour, switch back, and just work during the day and see what happens. Just at least people gotta work, so it's like as long as I can spend sometime every day with them, that like dinner and minimal something with the kids, it's just very important to me. My family is. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's the quality time too, turning the phone off and everything else, and just
because we don't get babysitters, man. We don't have much family, in the area. My parents are on the East Coast to help take care of them, so it's all us. And having twin boys as 2-year-olds just turned 3 is not easy, and 5-year-old girl. I got a lot of kids now, so we're trying our best to give them all the attention from us that we can.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Fuck yeah. Well, I guess on that note, man, before we go any further, we'll take a break to thank our sponsors, and we'll come back and get the lightning round started.
Sure. Sounds great.
Cool. This episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by Green Flash Glass. The Green Flash Glass logo is a symbol of quality because they take pride in their craftsmanship and stand behind their products. Made in the USA, Green Flash Glass builds relationships based on trust, integrity, and respect. With over 15 years of experience and an amazing team of artists, Green Flash Glass backs up their work with 100% quality guarantee, friendly responsive customer service, and high-quality products at an affordable price. For more info, go to greenflashglass.com. That's greenflashglass.com. All right,
Thank
man,
you.
we're back. So I'm thinking now that I'm going to make you my first person to rename this lightning round with, because I've been trying to come up with some names, kind of like a heat, round, make it fast questions, fast answers. And I was thinking a lot of the times, and myself and also other artists that do production and have to sell an order have crashed their kilns and immediately pulled the glass out of the kiln and took it to a shop still warm, to sell the shit. So I was thinking about a name of of doing this round, calling it "Crashing the Kiln." So be like, are you ready to crash the kiln, and then kind of go from there.
I like that.
So we'll see how it works. We'll get some
It's
feedback.
true. I made a little box and I put the KOL. I've plugged shit into my little kiln, put my little kiln in the back of my car, and driven to it and pulled it out of the kiln. By the time I got to the store, it was cool enough to pull out.
Yeah, it's funny.
Drive with a kiln in the fucking car.
Hell yeah, dude, hilarious. So I'm curious. So here's how this whole thing works, and you're actually also one of the first that did not get the questions ahead of time. So this should be fun for you. It's 6 questions, and just give me a 30 to 6 second answer. If you want to expound upon the questions, you can as well. And it's time to crash the kiln. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. So, there is any artist out there, living artist, glass artist in the world that you have not yet worked with? Who is it and why?
God, Lino. He is just the Italian master, and I would love to just wish I could go to Pilchuck and get up there and had worked with him while he was still doing so much stuff up there. A couple of my friends did and changed their lives, and what I saw happen to them, I just would want that magic to happen to me.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Lino's amazing. Lino and Pino Signoretto, see those guys together, it's fucking crazy shit, right?
Yeah, them working together is awesome.
Yeah.
The pieces that they came up with together were just sculptural and vessel blown masters. Those guys.
I tell people about the video that's out there of them, and it's funny to see they have the apprentice bench and the master bench, and it's like they're looking at each other like, who's gonna sit in the apprentice bench?
I think he's gonna.
It's funny.
I think he's sick. I think he's something wrong with his leg or something. And so one of them, my buddy was taking a class. So I don't know how many years he's gonna be alive.
Interesting. That sucks. They aren't they in their early 80s, late 70s?
They're getting old. They're old as balls.
Yeah.
I mean, they changed glass in America forever.
Yeah.
Him going to Seattle and just giving up the goods.
Yeah. Yeah. Chulik bringing that whole thing across, and now he's like a wanted man. Not really, but kind of.
yeah, for sure.
Maybe wanted by people.
Fuck, dude. Any kind of glass, I love it. It's just changed my life. I'm so thankful for everybody that's come before me.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So the next question is, what are your top 5 favorite colors in glass?
Shit, amber purple. I love Mighty Moss now. I love the Illuminati, and I love the Illuminati over the Mighty Moss. I loved pink slime, but I gotta go with the slime. I'll go with the basic slime. I love what I can do with that, where it's maybe because it's new. Moss, OG Moss was the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And
what's 5?
Agua Azul.
Okay. You gave me 6, but I'll take it.
Oh, shit. I thought you said 6.
Oh, no.
All right.
5. It's okay. So what is your worst injury in the studio you've had?
Probably just running my hand through the flame. Let's see. Yeah. Typical, just stupidly grabbing something hot, I think, right after. Just not putting a tube together. When I work tubes, I'll get down to the end, I'll put them together, and I'll put it back on the roller and straighten it out, and then I'll grab the fucking middle. That's genius, bro.
Yeah, I've done that.
Right there.
Hundreds of times.
And quickly, you got to fucking put your burns in water. You got to get your burn immediately. I've taken burns that are pretty bad and gotten rid of them immediately because I keep them hydrated. I'll get a wet paper towel wet towels, and I'll keep my hand on that while I work. And it takes the pain away, and then I just keep working, and I can just deal with a little bit of pain. Actually, that's a lot of pain when you start working. But anyways, you can deal with it because you can put it back and keep it wet. Just keep that fucker wet, even if it's all night. Put it by your bed and sleep with that thing next to your bed and keep your hand on it by morning. You will have way less burn because it's just a damaged, dry severe dehydration of your skin.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, on the cellular level for sure. And it's also the core of the burn. It's amazing when you see a burn you get, and that's when your scab goes away or whatever, and it's how deep that motherfucker was, because that's the core, sure. Man, it's crazy,
So then I use Aquaphor after that. At the end of it, that heals up now to minimize the scarring and the healing quick. Yeah. That really is hypoallergenic, and it cleans up helps the healing process faster too.
Yeah, hell yeah, awesome.
All kinds of health stuff we hit on today, man.
Yeah,
that's
man.
awesome.
That's what it's all
Love
about.
You.
Yeah,
Show's great.
Oh, thank you. So, are you a TV, a radio, or do you watch both things or do whatever in the studio?
I do all of it. A lot of TV, because I get it for free. I get everything free. I hack these little boxes and put in some code, and magically I get all live TV and TV free. And it's like a little quad core box. And actually, I used to sell them, but I just it's yeah.
Man, you're gonna have the feds, the FCC, and the DEA all come into your house tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I know. I think I've pissed off every alphabet agency in the world. I don't anymore. And what I do is I stream it. You don't download it. So technically, I don't know the technicalities of it. But anyways, I'm not saving anything. I'm just watching it. So I don't know how many laws there are on streaming things, but the boxes don't keep the device. They don't have enough hard drive on them to keep it. So there's not any downloading. There's nothing illegal going on.
Right. Makes sense.
It's when you start downloading, I think that's when they start having their issues, even though the Home Audio Act of 1974 clearly said that we can record things and share them among ourselves, but that could be for another day.
There you go. We'll do a whole show on it.
Hey, they just change laws whatever they want when new stuff comes out.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So the last one is a kind of a long one and a fun one as well. And if you were stranded on an island and there was a glass studio there that had all your gases you needed, a kiln, and your torch, what 5 items would you bring?
Does it have a foot pedal with the torch?
Yeah.
It's your
torch. Yeah, you have your torch. You can turn your torch on.
Tools, your graphite tools.
So you have no tools. It's just your torch and whatever to make that torch work, and your kiln.
And colors. So all that's covered.
Nope, no color. No raw materials at all, except for oxygen and propane.
So 5 things that I'd have to bring.
Yeah.
I would have to bring. How long does that last?
Do you want to?
Well, I would want some tubing.
And there's no parameters to the island. It could be whatever island you want. It could be a resort. It could be deserted. It could be full of naked ladies. It could be whatever.
What 5 things would I need? And it has a studio?
Yep.
Wait a minute. What 5 things would I need on an island to live forever? And just I don't even know if I would bring any kind of glass. I mean, there's you would need some kind of food for sustenance.
Yeah. Well, how would you blow glass?
Well, I'm not sure if I would. I would have to I would have to start a fire. Okay. A very big fire. I would build a clay pit off the local island stuff, and I would build a fire, and then I would compose a foot pedal like the Egyptians had to get the fire hot enough, and take sand, and I would have to make my own glass. I would have to probably figure that out over generations of my offspring. With the naked ladies that I brought to the island.
There you go. Hell yeah.
To have offspring.
Next time, I would. Yeah, production like China coming out of there.
I don't think I'd ever be blowing glass again. Definitely would have to have a strain of ganja there to plant. Got to smoke. That's one of the things.
There you go.
Got to have a way to smoke it. So I would need some glass. Okay. I would need 1 case of rod, 1 case of tubing.
All right, we'll count that as 1.
Okay.
So you got 3.
Okay. I'd need some chicks, some food, some water. I'm surrounded water. I could cook my water. I could do my water. I just need food. I could probably even get away with the island stuff, fishing, and we could cancel out food for a pair of shears, man.
Yeah. So you got 1 more thing left. The most important of all things that you need.
Shelter. I would want a nice.
You have a studio. You got a shelter there. Be a badass studio with a loft, and use your imagination.
Yeah. One more important thing. I mean, if I got glass and girls and weed and food, my family, but
You got girls and weed,
I don't need them. Yeah, that doesn't count then. This is an imaginary island.
This is whatever the fuck you want.
Prayed for my family, so. This is a fairy tale.
Exactly.
So I would need a large pumpkin, an avocado, and some pantyhose. I don't know. That's a good question, man.
Number 5. Think about if you have to work, what would you need to have?
Solar panel
have in your
for
face.
My iPad that was already there.
That could already be there.
Solar panel to iPad system for link with the world that I'd be tortured with for the rest of my life not being with. I like FIFA. I can't get enough.
Hey, there you go. You also need to get your glasses so you can see what you're doing.
Fudged mother Smurf. Yes, I would need my glasses. There, forget FIFA. We'll have a nice pair of frames.
They could be Google glasses that are titanium that you can watch TV and blow glass at the same time.
Whoa. Yeah, like how they sold us those glasses in the 90s. Like now they're like, don't blow glass with these glasses.
Right. Exactly.
What was that all about?
Yeah.
I use split lenses, and I highly recommend split lenses, bifocals, because I got the welder shade on the bottom and a little bit on the top, and it's all covered. And I got them from What's His Face, and they're freaking awesome. And they're big frames. I got a big head, so I really like split lenses. You gotta have welding. People that don't have any kind of welding shade, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing looking at color without any kind of split lens? How do you not have split lens or full shade? I don't understand that. Like, you're gonna kill your eyes.
Yeah. I wear shade 3s.
Yeah, mine have a 5 on the bottom. You wear a shade 3 altogether. Well, that's less. You can see. I can see through my 5, but I'm like, yes, all day. I'm like, even when I wear my regular sunglasses, I'm like this. Even when I'm not wearing anything, I'll find myself nodding up and down to go between try to see something better. I like dip my head.
It's hilarious.
Cool. That was really awesome. I like the lightning round.
Yeah. So now we're going to call it the Crash in the Kiln. And you have just crashed the kiln. All right.
Crashed that baby. You can take it out of 500.
Exactly. I always say 900 and under is a safe. Like that 1050 to 900 is like, that's the sweet spot. After 900 degrees, just take it out and let it do its thing.
Cool, man. This has been really awesome today. I got to hit the road here in a little bit.
Yep. So just wrap it up real quick. Just before we go, give us some parting piece of advice and where we can find you in cyberspace.
Okay, well, I'm just pretty much on Instagram at the Orion Glass, ORIONGLASS, the Orion Glass. I've had this name legally for like 20 years, man, and I guess a lot of people feel the need, they want to call their business Orion Glass or Orion something. Or fortunately, most people have been nice enough to stop using it. Thankfully, it's been resolved peacefully. But Orion Glass is where I'm at for now, the Orion Glass. And you can just find me there. Come catch my auctions and stuff, and that's where I'm at.
Hell yeah. And any parting pieces of advice to the world out there?
Yeah, man, don't forget to enjoy life.
Beautiful. Well said. That's probably the shortest thing you said all fucking day.
I love you, brother. Awesome. This has been fun.
Hell yeah.
I hope to talk to you again one day, man.
Yeah, I want to bring it back on like we were talking about, to talk about these the home systems.
The Sublime stuff, too.
Yeah, Sublime. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be fun. Maybe I'll get over to Eric's and we can do an interview one day, too. Yeah, it'll be fun to hang out with him. He's a trip. If I'm there, it'd be really fun.
Yeah, badass, dude. Well, go do your family stuff, and thanks again, man.
Cool, man. Thank you.
And we will be in touch.
Thank you to your kind audience for listening to You People Rule. Thank you for being a fan of glass, and thanks to everybody from Mountain Glass to Bob Snodgrass. You guys all rule, and thank you for taking up so much time in your life and putting this together and continually doing this, man. I know it's not easy to run a radio show. It takes a ton of work, bro, and you know, you need to be commended for that by your peers.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, I've gotten some awesome feedback, so it's definitely very humbling, and that's why I'm still doing it, even though I do it anyways because I love doing it. So
just talking to yourself, I do that. That's my
it.
show now. Here we are again by myself. Cool, bro.
Shit. All right, dude.
Well, I'll catch you in the interwebs.
Yes, sir. Hasta la vista.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Later.
Peace. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show. If you have any questions, comments, or remarks, please leave them in the show notes page area where it says comments. We'll see you soon. Have a wise night.